So in this video, we're going to talk about how to consistently fill your calendar with high quality students and parents that are willing to pay higher prices. We're going to talk about what you're currently doing to get clients, why what you're currently doing isn't working, and what you need to do instead. So most tutors, either when they start up or even like 5 years down the line, they rely on referrals. Now, to be fair, referrals are quite good, right? One thing is that they're absolutely free, right? So referrals are completely free. You don't have to pay anything for a referral unless you choose to, and if you have like a referral incentive or whatever. And referrals also don't require any work at all, right? So literally no time or effort has to go into referrals and you still get them. Next up, we have Facebook posting. A lot of people that I talk to also start off with posting on Facebook. This is largely free unless you pay somebody to do it. It takes a decent amount of time, but you can get some students with it. And then lastly is ads. Now, most people don't run ads when they start, but a decent amount of seasoned tutors do start running ads for their business in order to get more students. Now, each of these has their own set of problems. With referrals, although they are completely free, the problem with referrals is that you have no control. So yes, you're getting referrals, but you cannot influence in any way how many referrals you're gonna get next month, how many referrals you're gonna get the month after that, and how many referrals you're gonna get today, right? So that's a massive, massive problem, because if you're relying entirely on this, that means that essentially half, if not more than half of your business is just relying on luck, because you have no influence on it. So how are you supposed to influence your business to grow if you literally can't influence the only client acquisition you have? The next problem with referrals is that they're completely unpredictable. So not only do you have absolutely no control over how many you get, you also have no idea about how many you're gonna get. Because, if it was out of your control and you at least knew how many were coming next month, you could do some financial planning, some financial forecasting. You could know how many tutors to hire. You could know how much software to buy. Like if you need a new student management software, right? Because you get too many students to handle yourself. So you either hire a tutor or you hire a new management software that makes everything simple and organized, but you can't do that because you don't know how many you're gonna get next month. So it's a massive, massive problem. Next up, we have Facebook posting. Now this, to be fair, you do have some control, right? So you have some control here. It's not completely out of your control. In fact, you can choose to post more on Facebook and you're probably gonna get more students. But the caveat here is that this is still capped. Because if you've ever posted in Facebook groups, you know that these groups will often limit how many times you can post, what you can post, what you can say, how many people you can reach out to. And these are all hard limits which you can't go above, because if you do, you know you're gonna get banned, and you've probably gotten banned in the past. Now, this is kind of predictable as well. So it's not completely unpredictable, as if you have some control, that means you can decide how much time to put in, and you know roughly how many students you're gonna get out. So I'm not sure if you can read this or not, but it does say predictable, right? Because you can't influence how many hours you're gonna be posting, although like I said, there are limits to how much you can post. There's still some influence you have into how much you're gonna post. So if you know how much you're gonna post next month, in theory, you know how many students you're also gonna get next month. Now the problem with Facebook groups is that it takes a shit ton of time. This takes a lot of time and it's very, very repetitive work. So although theoretically you could scale this by hiring more people, just hiring 10, 20 VAs, the quality control on that and the complexity to actually scale this is going to be very, very difficult, and oftentimes it's not going to be worth it. Also, there's still a lot of hard limitations on Facebook's side, right? There's only so many Facebook groups you can actually post inside of. So even if you have like 10, 20 VAs doing the actual posting, there's still only so many Facebook groups you can post inside of. So while this one does have some control, some predictability, the problem here is that it's very, very limited. And if you want to force yourself to scale it, it's going to be extremely complex. And then lastly, we come to running ads. Now, ads can be very, very good. In fact, we use ads to get clients at 10x, 5x, sometimes even above. Like sometimes we get like 20, even 30x return on ad spend. It's very predictable. It can be very, very consistent. The problem is that the way most of you are running ads just doesn't really work. If your idea of running ads is boosting posts, this is not running ads. This is boosting posts. Running ads means going in the ads manager, clicking the buttons, you know, like the ads manager that looks like you're inside of, and you're trying to pilot a plane, like there's 1,000 different buttons. Yeah, not boosting posts on Instagram. There's a very, very strong difference between these two, right? Like on Instagram, you can set different targets and you can target that people, you know, you can set Instagram a target, for example, that they should follow you, that they should engage, they should get, you know, likes, comments, views, but you're not trying to get comments, likes, views, and engagement. You're trying to get paying students. Now, you can't really do that when you boost a post. So that's the core fundamental issue with boost posting. You are trying to get paying students, but you cannot incentivize Facebook/Meta to get you paying students because it's literally not an option, right? These AIs are very, very good at what they do. But you only need to reward them when they do the right thing, and that is just not an option when you boost posts. You cannot reward the algorithm for getting you a student because that's not an option in Facebook boosting posts. But you can do it inside the ads manager. Now, some of you are a little advanced. You also run ads in the ads manager. Now, the most common problem with running ads in the ads manager is that you just don't know what you're doing, right? So, a lot of times people come to me and, you know, we present the program, we do a lot of things for online tutors. So the offer, the ads, content, the CRM, appointment setting, sales, right? It's a whole package, whole big ass package. The reason we do that is because ads are literally just you telling people about your services. Okay? Now, a lot of you have extremely, extremely undesirable services. Your product is just like nobody wants it. Like, they just don't. So when you try and run ads to it, what you're essentially doing is, let's say you went to the toilet, you had a poop, you took a picture, and then you paid Facebook to distribute that picture, hoping that people will reach out wanting to buy. That's what you're doing. The only thing that ads can do is show your creative, so that can be a video or a picture of poop most of the time. You guys have poop, is what it is, and distribute that creative and show it to people. But the underlying offer needs to be dialed in so that when you show it to people, they actually want to buy. Okay? So we get a lot of people who see our whole big ass package, they're like, well, you know, I already have an offer. I already have a CRM. I have a setting process, a closing process, all that. But it's all like garbage. None of it works. Okay? That's the biggest problem with lead gen agencies as well. This is a little side tangent. But you can't just go to a lead gen agency that doesn't look at your offer, doesn't look at your sales process, doesn't look at your setting process, and just expect to get leads. It's like, no, like the first thing you need is a good product that people want to buy. And unfortunately, a lot of you have garbage products. Now, what I mean by this is that you are selling generic tutoring packages. So, now, what specifically do I mean by generic? I mean, you say, we help kids do better in math. We help kids do better in English. We help prepare kids for the SAT. We help XYZ. We do homework help. God forbid you do homework help. Jesus, there's like no saving your ass. But what you need to do instead is you need to define a specific outcome, exactly what score they're going to get, exactly what that specific score on that specific exam is going to help them achieve, and exactly what career path they want to get into, right? You need to speak to these people directly. You need to accurately describe their current situation. You need to accurately describe their current pain points, the trouble they're going through. And lastly, you need to accurately describe where they want to be. And you cannot do that if your product doesn't get them to that goal. Do you get what I mean? Right. So if you do run ads in the actual ads manager, you're doing like 60% of the work, but you still need a good offer. You need something that people want to buy. So we're going to have to repackage your whole offer into something people want to buy. You need to, like I said, a specific score that gets them a specific result, and you need to speak to their specific pain points so that when they hear the ad, they're like, oh yeah, this is for me. This is exactly what I need. You just described literally my exact situation. That's when it clicks. That's when they click on the ad, right? Obviously, you also need the ad to look professional, right? You don't want to have a shitty camera, right? It needs to be good quality, first of all. You need to have decent lighting, you need to have decent audio quality, and like a decent background, right? You don't want to be at your grandma's house with her old ass curtains in the background because you look like a dumbass and nobody's gonna buy, okay? Now, to give you some examples of what a good ad and a bad ad is, right? Let's take video ads. We've just noticed that in general, video ads tend to work better than images. A bad ad would be me saying, we do homework help all the way from elementary to college. We will help your kid be more confident in school. We will help them improve in general in school. And we will help them be calmer and more stress-free. You don't know who I'm speaking to. You don't know what result I'm gonna get. There was some mention of being more confident. There was some mention of them doing better at home. Like, who cares? It's homework. Like, nobody cares. Now, a good ad would be you specifically calling out a type of person, right? So, for example, if your kid is struggling or preparing for the SAT, we will get them to whatever XYZ score so that they can get into whatever XYZ university, career path, whatever, and then after that, you just explain how you get results. We have a 3-step methodology. Step 1 is this, step 2 is this, step 3 is that. And you explain how you get results. And then lastly, you just tell them, if you're interested, click on the link below, click learn more and book a call with my team. That's literally it. But like I said, your offer needs to be dialed in. So if you finally want predictable and consistent enrollments with high quality students and parents, you're gonna have to stop relying on referrals. You obviously, when a referral comes in, you take them in, right? You're not gonna reject money, that's stupid, but you don't depend on them. It's not the only thing you do. You need to start doing something active. You stop posting on Facebook because it's really not worth your time. Like, if you're still posting on Facebook, if you could just get all of that time that you're now spending on this and dedicate it towards that, you would make 10 times more money. Sure, it may take you 1 or 2 months to get used to it, to learn the ads, to get your offer dialed in, all that stuff. But once you get that dialed in, once you get that 5x ROAS and you're spending, I don't know, 500 to 1,000 on ads, you can literally just increase that 1,000 to 2,000 and you just get more students. Like, it is that simple. You don't need to hire anyone. You don't need to spend more time. You just change one number and then the number of students you get in and the number of money you make goes up. Really that simple. But caveat here, you need a good offer. You need to think about what these people actually want because ads are just an amplifier. You're just putting money to show something to more people, but that something, the product needs to be good, it needs to be dialed in, it obviously needs to get results. I don't think that needs to be said. Now, a lot of people are scared to spend money on ads because they're not sure they're gonna get results, which is fair and it's true, right? You can't be sure until you try. But let me put it like this. Spending money on ads is as if you were to go to a casino, right? But instead of going to a casino and you just, sometimes lose, sometimes you win, most of the times you lose. It's just how casino is, unfortunately. Here in ads, you only have to win once. Because once you find one ad that gets a good return, that gets interested people that are high quality, that pay you, and the ROAS, so the return on ad spend, is above 4 or 5, you're making money. You've won forever. You can just double down on that ad and spend more. And now you're making money because you're spending 1,000 to 2,000, making 5,000 to 10,000 back. Now you have 8,000 to 4,000 of free money that you got from doing the ads, which you can then reinvest into testing more new ads. So like I said, you only have to win once. Now, if you're not willing to bet on yourself at all, then you're just gonna stay stuck forever. But for those of you that do wanna try it, but you're not sure what budget, I would recommend just start off with anything that you're willing to lose. I wouldn't personally go below $20 a day because that's what we usually start with. But if your tutoring business is doing $100,000 a month, consider raising that $20 a day to maybe $50 or $100 a day. You're just gonna see results faster. You're gonna learn faster. So go to the casino, go gamble a little bit because you only have to win once and then you're good. And then it's making money and you can reinvest that money to test new ads and then you make even more money. And the most insane part about ads is that you can literally be unprofitable for half a year testing different ads, testing different stuff, and you're just losing money. It's not profitable. You're getting some students, but they don't even cover the ad spend. But because I recommend you that you start with a budget that you're willing to lose, let's say you're spending $20 a day, right? That's $600 a month. So if you're doing that for half a year, times 6, that's $3,600, right? A little math there. So you spend $3,600. If you get a 10x ROAS, that means that your $600 on the 7th month gets you $6,000. So now we take the 3,600, we add another 600 to it, that's 4,200, but you made 6K. That's it. You can literally lose money on ads for half a year and you're gonna make it all back within the same month once it's profitable. It's really it's that good. It really is. And the best part is that once you get that 10x ROAS, you don't have to keep spending 600. You can up that to 2,000. If you still have a 10x ROAS, you just made $20,000 in a month. And that more than covers everything you've spent before, and it makes a shit ton of profit. Now, 6 months is kind of the worst case scenario if you don't know what you're doing, you don't have the proper guidance, you don't have somebody telling you what strategy to use. Our clients often get profitable within the first, second, or sometimes the third month. So if you do have the proper guidance, you have someone telling you what to do, how to do it, how to set it all up, it's very realistic that you get profitable within the first couple of months. And then maybe you spend $600 unprofitably, and then the next 600 got you 6,000 back and you're good. And then you're good forever. Now, if you want to see exactly how to set up the ads so that they do convert and that you do make more money and you stop gambling and stop losing money, there's going to be a link somewhere on this video to my ads breakdown where I go more in depth into how to do this strategy so that it is profitable and that you don't have to spend 6 months figuring it out. So just click on that wherever it is and yeah.